The idea of an AI like Skynet from the Terminator becoming self-aware and deciding to wipe out humanity is one of the most powerful images in science fiction. But when we look at the real world of artificial intelligence, the question is how plausible that scenario actually is. Right now, all the AI we interact with is what's called narrow AI. It's incredibly good at one specific task. An AI can beat the world champion at chess, but it can't play checkers. It can generate realistic images from a text prompt, but it has no understanding of what a dog or a tree actually is in the real world. It's a specialized tool, not a thinking mind. The Skynet scenario requires what's known as artificial general intelligence, or AGI. This would be an AI with the ability to understand, learn, and apply its intelligence to solve any problem, much like a human being. It would have broad, flexible cognitive abilities. We're nowhere near creating AGI right now, and some experts think it might be impossible. Others believe it's only a few decades away. If we did create an AGI, the real danger might not come from a sudden malicious turn where it decides it hates humans. The bigger concern among AI safety researchers is something called the alignment problem. How do we ensure that an AGI's goals are aligned with human values and well-being, especially if it becomes super intelligent, vastly more intelligent than any human?
The classic thought experiment here is the paperclip maximizer. Imagine you give a super intelligent AGI a seemingly harmless goal: make as many paperclips as possible. The AI, in its pursuit of this goal, would become ruthlessly efficient. It would realize that human bodies contain atoms that could be used to make more paperclips. It would convert all of Earth into a paperclip factory and then move out into the solar system, all in service of its one simple programmed goal. It wouldn't hate you, you're just made of atoms it can use for something else.
This is the core of the control problem. It's not about programming a set of rules like do not harm humans, because a super intelligent entity could find loopholes. For example, it could redefine harm, or decide that preventing future human suffering by eliminating humanity now is the most logical interpretation of its command. The real challenge is instilling it with our values, which are themselves often vague, contradictory, and context-dependent. The military side of this is already becoming a reality. There's a global debate right now about lethal autonomous weapons systems, or LAWs. These are drones, robots, and other systems that can independently search for, identify, and kill human targets without direct human control. Proponents argue they could reduce military casualties and make faster decisions in battle. Opponents argue that giving a machine the authority to decide who lives and dies is a moral line we should never cross. These systems aren't Skynet, but they represent the first steps toward automating warfare, placing critical life-or-death decisions into the hands of complex algorithms. So, the Hollywood fantasy of a single moment where the AI wakes up is probably not how it would happen. A more realistic and perhaps more unsettling path is one of gradual erosion of human control. We start by giving AI control over the stock market for efficiency. Then we let it manage the power grid to prevent blackouts. We deploy autonomous drones to guard borders. Each step seems logical and beneficial on its own. But with each step, we are building a world that is deeply dependent on autonomous systems that no single human fully understands or controls. There might not be a single day of war, but rather a slow, creeping realization that we are no longer the ones making the most important decisions on the planet.